there's nothing quite like the challenge of marathon. Dr. Connie here. I want to do a little bit about LA Marathon prep while I'm also working on some cross training. So I went to the So Cal Pacers Brunch yesterday and we were speaking. We had a couple of speakers. It was a really fun event with some really good food, some like chorizo and potatoes. I made a croissant French toast bake. I love that thing. I only make it for special occasions though. So great food, great speakers, and they had their coach Mario there. I went up and spoke, and then they also had Dan, the man who's doing his legacy 40 years this year, which is so awesome. He had so many good stories. That was next. If you didn't make it, try to make it over there next year. Join the club, go hang out. It's a lot of fun. So we were at the brunch. We were talking about like strategies to get you through the race, not only prep but also during. So we'll go over some of those. So I want you guys to have some of those tips too. When you hit that wall, when you're in the later half of the marathon, things are starting to ache a little bit. We get a little sore, we get a little tired. Think to yourself, like, you've trained for this. That was one from Coach Mario. Like, you've trained for this, you've put in the work. Now it's just time to do it, right? I tend to think to myself, like, hey, we've already done hard things. We've had long training runs. It's only X number of miles left. That works good. Once you get into like mile 20, it's like, hey, it's just 6 miles, which it's funny because if I think back a few years, I wouldn't have been able to run 6 miles at all. But when you've done marathon training, 6 miles is like, yeah, it's nothing. We got this. So telling yourself, hey, there's 6 miles left. There's only 3 miles left. Finding somebody next to you and encouraging them is the most awesome thing I feel like that you could do out there on the race course. And it gives you so much. So encourage other people out there. It'll give you a boost just as much or more than it'll give them a boost too. If you can find somebody to talk with stuff about, that's awesome too. There was a guy last year had a Spartan Deca shirt on as we were getting close. It was after we did the turnaround. So we were within like, I think 4 miles of the finish line at this point, but we started talking about, hey, so how's this compare to that Spartan? And I've done some Spartan races too, so it was just fun talking about it. So anyways, so those like mental strategies. Taking fuel early. You don't want to get to the point where you're like, I feel good. I'll just skip this gel or this whatever food you're using for your fuel or this electrolyte. Like, don't skip them. Like, it's better to just fuel up a little bit early with things that you know work for you, and then to just cruise through on that. So much better. You're going to burn about 3,000 calories in this thing, so you got to replenish some of it. You got to give your body something, okay? And then in terms of like logistics, getting ready, I have been the worst at this in the past. I'm going to get better at it, I swear. But not prepping things the day before, but like 5 days before, like the weekend before, doing the laundry, getting whatever you're going to wear ready, packing up your bag with your gear and your stuff that you're going to take. A lot of times the clubs will let you like drop your stuff with them and they'll have it there at their tent too. So if you've been running with the club, ask them if that's something that they'll do too. That way you don't have to carry your stuff all the way through. So it's the nice thing about LA. We get tons of support. We do have, and I realize I named this the Marathon Eve checklist because that's a lot of times when I'm double checking this stuff, but things like figure out your shuttle, figure out where you're going to park, what time you're going to leave, all of that stuff. If you figure that out like 5 days in advance, you get to the night before and you're at least a little bit more like, hey, we got this on race day. So let us know if you want that Marathon Eve checklist. I'm happy to send it to anybody. We want to make sure that you guys feel good and prepared, but like knowing your shuttle times, if you're staying out at a hotel, like, all right, how am I going to get from here to there? What time am I going to get from here to there? It's a really cool experience in the beginning where you're like getting there in the dark. So as you're getting ready to take off, the sun is starting to come up if it's not too overcast. But it's just a really cool experience before you even start running too. But if you're a slower runner, you know you're going to be toward the back. Make sure you take a little bit of your own toilet paper too, because I know the porta potties run out as many people go through them. What else? Some other good tips. Yeah, I would say prepping stuff early is helpful. But check out our list for some of the other ones. You don't want to try anything new on race day. So if you have had something that's been aching a little bit, you want to try some kinesio tape, you want to try that a week or two in advance. That way you know what to expect, you know what your body feels like. I know it's really tempting to go get taped like the day before with something you've never had put on, but you just don't know how it's going to perform. Oh, I know, one thing they asked me to talk about while we were there was, how do you know if you're just hurting a little bit or if you have an injury? And so I tend to use a traffic light. It's kind of a green, yellow, and red. No pain, cool, you're in the green, keep going. Yellow, that's our like, let's see if we can change something. Do we need to stop and stretch? Do we need to adjust? And that tends to be from about a 1 to a 5 out of 10 on the pain scale. So like if you're having a 2 or 3, oh, something's aching a little bit. There are some uneven roads that you're going to come across. There's lots of like little challenges that maybe you haven't 100% prepared for. But if it's just a little like, hey, I got a nagging 2, 3 out of 10 pain thing, stop, stretch a little bit. If you want to put some biofreeze on, use a massage gun, things like that just to get you by. Cool, use that. If you get to like a 6+ out of 10 pain, especially if it's in a joint, right in a tendon, those are things that you want to really listen to. There are going to be some medical tents along the way. I'm going to be set up along the way. We have lots of helping stations along the way where if we do need to try to work something out for you as you're going through so that you can continue to the finish line, we'll try and help you get that pain down so you could get there, right? Again, you've trained for this, you put in the training, so you know your body should be able to handle that mileage, right? Okay, and where are we going to be? So it's really hard. One of the mental challenges of LA is at mile 18, you're passing the finish line, then you keep running, then you make a U-turn and come back. So we'll all be along that turnaround point. So you'll see me twice. Once you cross the finish line, you go down the hill and you kind of start turning toward that Westwood area. We'll have a tent set up. We'll have the blue like recovery tent banner. So if you need some help, like, oh, we got you. We're there to help that day. So you'll see us there. I'm super excited. I mean, LA it's a huge deal, especially we've got some people that it's your first time out there. Just have fun. Be loose with those expectations. You know, if we have like, here's my fast time that I want to get, here's like, I'm okay getting this one. You know, if something happens, I'm okay slowing down and being able to adjust my race strategy. And there's always another race. Like, it's okay. This is awesome. You've trained for this. There's always going to be another something. So don't kill yourself if you're getting above that like 6, 7, 8 out of 10 pain. It's okay. We can make an adjustment in your race day plan. All right. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll send you the race prep guide. That way you kind of get your logistics in order. Do it before the night before. And good luck out there. Have fun.